Okay, so we know there is a lot of turmoil which is going on in the market currently, right? The US and Israel attacked on Iran last Saturday. I mean, today we're on Saturday, so last Saturday the attack happened, and things are only getting worse in terms of the market. So today we'll discuss about how we as traders, investors can operate in this kind of environment. What is expected in the coming weeks and months in the Indian market, in the global market, for crude oil, for Nifty, Bank Nifty, and of course for gold and silver also. So let's see. So many times I share these two quotes one by Benjamin Graham and one by Mr. Warren Buffett. So what it is saying is the intelligent investor is a realist who sells to optimists and buys from pessimists. Okay. So indirectly in simple words, what he's saying is that buy the dip of quality assets. Okay. And then same thing Mr. Warren Buffett is also saying, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Normally what happens is that when there is a big fall in the market, mostly the retail investors or the people who are not having proper information, they end up selling their assets, and the smart ones end up buying the assets. Okay. So that is in the normal situation. But is it the right thing to do currently? Okay. So that is what we are going to discuss, because if there is a dip because of regular things like there is some economic issue, some duties, some tariffs, some company has a bad quarter. So those are routine issues. Okay. And in those type of situations, buying the dip is okay. But in a situation like war, currently there is a war situation and we do not know when it is going to stop and how much further the market can fall. So buying the dip may not be the best thing to do in the current market scenario. So that's the reason I thought I'll just spend some time on these slides. So this is what is happening currently, right? US killed Khamenei and probably from hell or heaven or wherever he's laughing, and the world is actually in trouble. Iran is attacking the Gulf countries, all the Gulf countries adjacent to it, and all these Gulf countries are in a big spot of bother. One oil refinery goes, one water desalination plant goes, there will be big trouble for these Gulf countries. So it's a very tricky situation. So before we move further, quick introduction about myself. So my name is Ritin Chaudhary and I run the firm RGS Consulting. We are a wealth management firm operating for almost 9 years, and we work in the stock market, private equity, cryptocurrency, commodity market. Before starting this wealth management business, I worked in the IT industry for almost 15 years with great corporates like Cisco, Accenture, etc. So that's a quick background about myself. So let's go further. What has happened in the Indian market? Last week was down, almost 3% down for both Sensex and Nifty. Which were the sectors which were majorly down? Banking and financials were the major drags, because banking and financial did very well in the last 1 month or so. So majority profit booking has happened there. Which sectors are gaining? Defense stocks are gaining, Bharat Electronics, for example, and some other stocks like Reliance are gaining. Now Reliance is gaining because now India is going to buy higher quantities from Russia, higher quantities of crude oil from Russia. So that's a positive for Reliance, and Reliance Industries is going higher. Overall, broader markets are down, and we saw steepest weekly fall in over a year. Last 1 year का worst weekly performance था last week में. So obviously, what are the key drivers? Key drivers obviously is the Middle East conflict, right? India में क्या हो रहा है? I mean, for the market, it's mostly immaterial currently. जो भी हो रहा है वो ग्लोबल इवेंट्स का इम्पैक्ट है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज बेसिकली ड्राइविंग द इंडियन मार्केट करंटली. देयर वाज अ ब्रीफ रिकवरी मिड वीक. वेनसडे थर्सडे को थोड़ा स्पाइक आया था मार्केट में, थोड़ा रिकवरी आया था. देयर वर रूमर्स अबाउट डी-एस्केलेशन. ऐसा रूमर आया था सीएनबीसी का कि Iran has offered for talks, but that was actually a rumor, and again it was a manipulation by operators. A lot of people lost money in that small spike. Okay, so that is what, how the last week played out. If you look at the performance of Nifty, last 1 week, as I said, 3% down. Last 1 month, almost 5% down. Last 6 months, 1% down. Last 1 year, it has given 8% return. Last 2 year also, it has given 8% return. So practically in last 2 years, the annual return is 4%. So which is less than the bank FD. In terms of the stocks, a lot of people I know are having portfolios down by 20%, 30%. So quite disappointing performance by Nifty. Bank Nifty has done slightly better. If you look at a 2 year performance, Bank Nifty has given 10% annually, 20% in 2 years. So what happens is market gives you opportunities, but if you are not taking benefit of those opportunities in terms of booking profit, अगर आप profit book नहीं कर रहे हो right level पे, तो आपका पोर्टफोलियो 100 रुपए का 150 रुपए होता है, 200 रुपए होता है, और वो 150 का फिर से 100 पे आ जाता है, 100 रुपए पे आ जाता है. You are back to square one. Profit booking is something that should be always considered. Let's look at the US market. US market also the picture is similar. S&P 500 fell to its lowest level since November. Okay, Dow Jones is down, Nasdaq is down, and US market दो चीजों की वजह से collapse हो रहा है. One is of course the global geopolitical tensions which are going on. In addition to that, last Friday there was a bad jobs report in US. Okay, so there was a loss of, or there was a reduction of 92,000 jobs in non-farm payrolls. Now, this is a major figure for the US economy, and it is again showing there is a burden in the US economy, and वो भी contribute कर रहा है towards the fall. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ ईरान का इशू चल रहा है. There are other things which are going on in the market apart from the Iran issue, and we need to keep eye on them. कल जाके ईरान का इशू थोड़ा कूल डाउन हो भी जाता है, but because of these economic indicators in the US economy, the market might still remain down. So let us look at the performance of the major indices in US. Dow Jones, S&P 500, Nasdaq. So Dow Jones has given a 11% return in last 1 year. S&P 500 has given 17% returns, and Nasdaq has given 23% returns. So pretty good return compared to Nifty, Bank Nifty definitely. But last 1 week, last 1 month, all the indices are down. As you can see, S&P 500 is down by almost 3% for the month. So market is kind of bearish grip everywhere. When we talk about commodities, then it's a different picture. So silver 1 year is up, 2 year is up, 3 years is up, 5 years is up. Gold again 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. So silver and gold are mostly outperforming the other asset classes. Okay. So definitely should be considered in your portfolio. But again, here also trading and profit booking is quite important. Now let us look at some of the other events. A very major shocking event has happened in US. BlackRock is like one of the biggest asset managers in US and globally, and they have capped the withdrawals for their investors. Okay, their investors are asking for a certain amount, return withdrawal for whatever reasons in the economy. And BlackRock, as a preventive measure, or maybe they don't have an option, they have basically capped the withdrawals. Now, this has never happened before. a major fund like BlackRock telling their investors that, okay, you cannot withdraw all your funds and you have to wait. It's a major red flag for the economy. And it is not only BlackRock, there are other fund houses which are doing something similar. There is one called as Blue Owl, which is saying no withdrawals and they are replacing them with IOUs. I mean, IOU will give but later. So BlackRock has dropped, stock of BlackRock has taken a big hit. Carlyle is down, Apollo is down. So basically, what is happening is that, as this person from JP Morgan is saying, bad news often happens all at once. The opacity and the leverage in the sector is concerning. This is a $1.8 trillion industry. Basically, this is the loan industry in the US. So a lot of cracks are there in the economy. सिर्फ ईरान का issue नहीं है. There are other things which are also going on. Something that we need to keep in mind. Then another interesting that has happened today as we speak. Iranian president said that they will not bomb the neighboring countries, the neighboring Gulf countries, because bombing the neighboring Gulf countries is like creating a lot of worry in the global economy, right? But he's saying that this will happen only if these countries are not supporting US for the attacks. Now that's not going to happen because United States is attacking Israel, Iran. United States is attacking Iran from their bases in the Gulf countries, whether it is Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, Bahrain, right? UAE, Saudi Arabia. So all these bases they will continue to use, and Iran will still have the excuse to keep on attacking these countries. This is the Dubai airport today. There was a bomb which was dropped on Dubai airport, and this is actually the Dubai airport. If you can see this horizontal line here, it is the metro line which is there in the middle of the Dubai airport. So Dubai airport took a hit today, whereas the Iran president is saying that we'll stop attacking the neighboring countries. So all this is going on in the market. Quite worrisome picture as such for the bears at least. So Goldman Sachs is saying that if the Strait of Hormuz is not opened, dollar will hit, crude oil will hit $100. It has already crossed $90. So again, if it touches $100, it will put a lot of pressure on countries like India, which are importing oil big time. All the countries which are importing oil, they are going to be very negatively impacted. Qatar officially is saying that oil prices can hit $150 within days as the Gulf countries prepare to shut down production. They are talking about shutting down the production, and I mean, we cannot imagine what will happen if it really goes to $150. It's really unimaginable, and it will have enormous cost on on the economy, especially again countries like India, South Korea, China, who are all importing crude oil. I mean, if dollar touches $150, crude oil touches $150, I mean, I cannot imagine what will be the level for Nifty. Okay. In normal scenario, Nifty might go down to 21,000. Normal means if there are some economic issues, etc. But for this type of issues, we don't know to what extent it can go. So let's hope it does not happen and the situation improves at the earliest. But we have to be prepared. So I was talking about these non-farm payrolls in US. There was a bad economic data in US, and because of that, again, the US market is under pressure. So everybody with me, any queries, any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Now let us look at the charts. We'll look at the charts of SPX, Nasdaq, DXY, bond yield, and crude oil and gold, and of course Nifty Bank Nifty to get the exact information as to what is happening on the charts. So let's start with SPX chart. So as you can see, this is the daily chart of SPX. If you go to weekly, so this was the major support of December. And currently it has basically taken a pause. The fall has basically stopped at this support of December. Now, if it goes on Monday, then further steep fall is expected and it can go down all the way up to 6500. So another 3 to 4% fall in SPX is quite possible. But let's see, let us keep an eye on the events on Monday and Tuesday. Nobody can say for sure what's going to happen. As of now, the support has been respected. It's wait and watch situation definitely. So even from the Fibonacci perspective, this was a support and its support has been honored as of now. So it did not break this 6710 level. Close for SPX last week was 6737. So 6700 roughly is the very important support level for SPX. So a daily close or a weekly close before below this level will basically take it down all the way up to 6500. So 3 to 4% fall is possible if 6700 goes. Let us look at Nifty. Before Nifty, let us look at gold. So gold has recovered last week. There was a good spike in gold on Monday. Right, those who are on RGS Alpha, I told you that, rather on Friday, I told you to buy gold, take long positions in gold. And on Monday morning, I told that book profit in gold. Now, if people followed those messages, then they must have made some good money. Because after Monday morning, there was a big fall in gold. And although it is recovering now from Friday, but then the opportunity was there to be grabbed, right? So gold is recovering right now. It is consolidating. Overall looks bullish for the long term. But can go all the way again back to like 4800 or $4900. So that will be a good level to buy gold. Silver, if we see, again, silver is also following the gold trajectory and it has recovered. Same thing happened on Monday morning. There was a spike in gold and after that, quite a big fall. So again, as I mentioned earlier, trading and booking profits is quite important here. So some long can be taken here at the level of 81, but I will not be surprised if silver goes down all the way up to $61. So there is a possibility that it might go to $61 also. Overall, in the long term, it looks good, but in the short term, there can be major dips. Now, the biggest monkey in the town, crude oil. There is a huge breakout in crude oil as expected, right? Obviously, Friday the market closed, Saturday the attack happened, and on Monday there was a big gap up, and it's going only higher and higher and higher. Crude oil. But again, considering the support and resistance theory, it stopped at the resistance of 92.8, which was basically the previous top. And this happened during the Israel attack, right? When Hamas attacked Israel in October 2023, that is when there was a big spike in gold. And after that, it went down. So just as SPX honored the support, the crude oil rally has basically stopped at a resistance. So this is basically a classic example of support and resistance playing out. So you'll see Monday, Tuesday, we'll see whether this resistance is broken and crude goes higher. So crude will go higher and SPX will go down and vice versa, right? One of these things is going to happen for sure. So I think majorly the moment will be dictated by crude oil. But then another factor is the US economic data, the poor jobs data in US on Friday. That basically creates a chances of a Fed rate reduction. Okay, so if Fed rate reduction happens, then there is a possibility that dollar will go down and gold will go high. So that is the reason, if you can see on Friday, gold went up. Gold went up, the DXY went down. So this is basically the direct impact of the bad employment data in US. So many things we have to correlate and take decisions in the market. So coming to Nifty, So in case the market situation improves, we can see some recovery in Nifty, and let us look at the resistance levels. So on the higher side, I mean, the first resistance is around 25,000 and probably 25,450. So 25,000, 25,450, this is what we can look at if there is a recovery. But if there is no recovery and if there is a fall, then we are looking at levels of 23,500. So if SPX breaks support and if things go further bad on Monday or Tuesday, then we can look at levels of 23,450 or 23,500. It's very much possible. Okay, so these are the Nifty and Nifty levels. Similarly, Bank Nifty also we can check, but I will just show you the levels I have got here. So in the short term, Nifty support zone is 23,850, 24,450. 24,450 was the last week close. If that breaks, then 23,850 will come quite quickly. In terms of resistance, 25,200, 25,400 is the resistance levels. For Bank Nifty, 57,783 was the last week close. We are looking at a support of 56,000, 57,700 and the resistance of 59,000, 60,000. The important point here is that in case there is a recovery and if you see move towards the resistance levels, do some profit booking, recover your losses. That is very important because the market is going to remain volatile and all recoveries should be used for basically booking some profit or reducing the losses. We want to look at sector performance. So this is the performance of various indices. Only the defense index has done well. Last week, Nifty Defense and Nifty Pharma. On a monthly basis also, if you see, Nifty Defense, Nifty Pharma is doing good. Otherwise, most of the indices are in the red. The biggest dragger was PSU Bank and Nifty Realty. So we are talking about Iran war and everything, and we have forgot the issues which have been created by AI. 10 days back, 15 days back, we were talking about job losses because of AI, and that is still, that worry or that fear is still there. And that is the reason you can see there is a pressure on banking stocks and reality stocks. Okay, so job losses, oil price spiking, market going down, everything is happening. Are there any stocks which are positive? Let us take a look. But before that, I just quickly want to spend some time on the services of RGS. So RGS Consulting, as I said, is a wealth management firm, and there are various services that we have. Account management on a profit sharing basis, fund management, gold investment schemes. We have very innovative gold investment schemes, advisory services, algo trading trainings. So if you are interested in any of these services, you can contact on this number and we can discuss in detail. So let us look at the momentum stocks. This, by the way, was a trade given on RGS Alpha on Friday and it is already in profit. Hopefully, this should give good profit on Monday. Okay, let's go to the futures built up. Significant long build up. Okay, in this very, very bad market, there is not a single stock which is having a proper long build up. But there are 4 stocks which are having a long build up in the short term. Okay. Out of which one is basically HL is short built up on the long term. But in the short term, it is giving some positive momentum. So HL, Persistent, CG Power, and United Spirits, these are the stocks which are having some long momentum. Let us look at the stocks which are having a short build up, which are basically bearish stocks. So quite a significant list here. Bank Nifty obviously is bearish. Angel One, a capital market stock, Ashok Leyland, Bank of Baroda, HDFC, ICICI Bank, IndusInd. Basically, majority is the finance stocks or banking stocks. Okay. So if you are having positions in these stocks, reduce your positions, book losses. or you can also consider taking short positions in these stocks. So we have spoken about the long build-up stocks, short build-up stocks. Data FI, DI, I mean, as usual, we don't really need to go to this particular data. DI continue to buy and FI continue to sell. So as you can see here, DI are continuously buying. God knows what is happening with their portfolios, but they are still buying. And FI wisely so are still selling. I mean, it's quite simple, right? I mean, if you go back to the performance here, this is the performance of US market. In 2 years, they have given, S&P has given a 32% return, right? Whereas if you look at Nifty Bank, 2 years return is 20% and Nifty return is 8%. So why will they invest in the Indian market if they have got so many other opportunities outside? So the FI are continuously selling till the time the FI don't really see proper opportunities in the Indian market. We will not see good recovery here. So Nifty PE is again something that we track. I'll just take a look at it quickly. So Nifty PE typically has a support around 21.5. Currently, it is at 21.39. So Nifty PE has broken a support. So it is quite significant. And it might go all the way up to 20. We saw that level in March 2025. We know that in March, April 2025, there was a big fall in the market. So situation looks similar, and Nifty PE might go towards 19.5, and then the Nifty at that time was around 22,000. So currently, if the support breaks, then Nifty PE can go all the way up to 19.5. That will be a level possibility to do some buying. Okay, so as I said, currently it's wait and watch. Don't rush into buying. If there is an opportunity to sell, if there is some recovery rally in the market, use that opportunity to do some profit booking or to recover your losses. So 19.5 Nifty PE, keep that in mind. So that's it from my side today. So for those of you who are not there, you are welcome to join RJS Alpha, our market discussion group. We keep on giving market updates and trade ideas, etc. here. You can just take benefit by being part of this group and make some money also in the process. You will have learning opportunities, you will have earning opportunities. So you are welcome to join. So thank you. Thank you for joining today's session. I wish you all a very profitable week ahead. Okay. Thank you. Bye.